Hello everyone, I am Snigdha Kakkad and this is my channel AccelerateAICareers. Today I have brought a very interesting LeetCode problem, LeetCode 706, Design Hashmap. We all have used Hashmap or heard about Hashmap. In one or the other way, we have used it for our questions. So don't you wonder how this Hashmap is built? And maybe I can design my own hash table or my own Hashmap without using any built-in libraries. So that's what this question is all about, even though it has been marked as easy. But it's a medium level complexity question, I would say. Your hashmap class, as shown here, should have three functions. It can be able to put a key value pair in the hash map. It can be able to get or retrieve the key value pairs from hash map. It can be able to remove a key and its corresponding value from the hash map if it is present. And in case the value is not present, in case of get, it should return -1. So that's the basic operations of any hash map, and usually all these operations are performed in O1 time complexity. That's what the solution requires. And this question is really famous one. It's been asked by so many companies in their interviews, most famous for Amazon, Google, LinkedIn, Apple, Snowflake, Meta. So it's a very interesting question as well as important from the interview perspective. Now let's see how we go about doing this question. Usually we make an hash map using an array or using a list node. So that's what we are going to do here as well. There is an assumption we are going to make that the hash map will not have more than 1000 elements or 1000 key value pairs. So that's one assumption which we are going to use here. Now, the key in the hash map is always going to be an integer, even though it's not told in the question. It is clear from the examples. So the key is always going to be an integer, which makes our question even more easier. So let's start coding it directly, and if you have any doubts, do ask it. So first of all, I will initialize my class for list node, which I'm going to use in all the functions in my hashmap class. So to initialize it, I set a default for my key as -1 value, default as -1, and my next node value as none. And that's it. As simply we initialize our list node class, I have done that. Self.key is equal to key, self.val is equal to val, self.next is equal to next. Now I'm going to initialize my hash map, my map. So my self.map is equal to an array of list nodes. The list node class I have defined above, so that I'm going to use for I in range 1000, because I'm making an assumption that at max 1000 elements or key value pairs would be here. Now I'm taking another function hash, where I'll be returning the modulo of key taken by 1000 or length of self map, so that can make sure that there will always be less than 1000 components. So what I'm doing, I say if you take a modulo of 999 by 1000, you'll always get a value less than 1, right? But if you take a modulo of 1001 by 1000, you will get a modulo value which is greater than 1. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll take a modulo of the key with self dot map length, so that I'll always get a modulated value there. And then my put function basically is that I get a key value pair. I need to put it at the requisite place in my hash map, and that to be done in one time complexity. So to do that, I'll first initialize my dummy node. So self.map, self.hash. So the hash function which I defined above, I am calling the key hash map on that key here. And then I will run a while loop while there is some current.next which exists. I will run this loop and I will check if current.next.key is equal to the value of the key or the key which has to be inserted. If it is, I will insert the value current.next.val is equal to the value given to you to be inserted. Otherwise, and I will return. Otherwise, if it is not that value, I will have to move the pointers. And then I will also have to update the list node. So current.next is equal to list node, and the list node to be inserted would be the key value pair. So this is your put function to put a requisite key value pair given to you in your hash map using the list node. So that's what I'm going to do here. Now in my get function, which is my retrieve function, again O1 time complexity, I will again take my dummy node, but here one change to retrieve, I will not start from the dummy node because dummy node is usually none, right? I will start with dummy node dot next. So self dot map of the self dot hash function over the key, and I will take dot next so that I start from next to the dummy node rather than from the dummy node. and I will run the loop till while current exists. And if this current dot key is equal to the key to be retrieved, if it is, then I will return current dot val. If it is not, I will move the pointers. That's how the while loop will work. And if I don't find it, I have to return default, which is -1 as given in the question here. Now my last function, which is an easier one, would be remove, in which I will again take the dummy node. So self.map. For by now you would be understanding why I am taking self.hash and taking the dummy node. And after that I will check while current and current.next exists. Because when you remove, you have to change the node, so you don't have to check just for the current node but also for current.next. And if you check if current.next.key is equal to the key to be removed, if it is, I will just have to move the pointers. Current.next is equal to current.next and return. And finally, I will have to move the pointers for the while loop. And that's it. That's my entire code. Let's run it. So it's accepted. Let's submit. As you can see, our solution is doing quite well here. If you have a better solution to solve this question, do share it with me in the comments here. I would love to learn from you. If you like my way of solving problems, subscribe to my channel to get your notifications for your daily LeetCode challenges. And I will make sure that I'll make the next video very soon. Thank you for subscribing to my channel.